Hello, welcome to another Gundam Person 2 video, and that is the new suit, the FF Nu Gundam. Or, you can just call it the NuFF Gundam, because this motherfucker is strong, enough said. Because that was so awful, I'm sorry. But, yeah, this is another 4-star native COTS 700 raid. And yeah, apparently Bandai, they saw all the support mains having fun with the FF Sazabi, and they said, hey, quit that. Stop having fun. Here's a raid. Fuck you. So now we have another 4-star raid, and yeah, this one is pretty damn good. And to help accentuate this, I do have potentially 3 matches here for you for this video. The first match is going to be me going solo in Arctic Base. The second match is going to be me also doing solo on Supply Depot Ace match, which funnily enough the GPO1 becomes the Ace, and we'll try and help him out there as he goes along. And the third match, potentially third match, is going to be me working with Clav on Supply Depot Ace match again. And yeah, let's get right into the stats for this. I did mention this is a 4-star raid, native 400 cost. You have 22,000 health, 22 ballistic and beam resistance. You have 34 melee resistance, 35 range strength and melee strength, 135 movement speed with 225 boost speed, 80 thruster gauge, and 81 turning speed. And for slots, you have 16 close, 19 mid, and 17 long range slots. And yeah, the first thing that jumps out to me here is that I believe 22,000 health. I think that is the lowest a native 700 raid has. So yeah, you're definitely going to be a little bit more squishier health-wise. Now, in terms of builds, I've kind of stuck with just one, where to kind of help take less damage, I have more beam resistance and melee resistance. I didn't do too much melee strength, although you can definitely do that for sure. But I did do a good amount of range strength, because you do have a ton of a ton of range weapons to work with. So yeah, that's what I worked with. And keep in mind, I'm not the best raid player, and this is I'm just showing the potential this suit has. Because man, you can do some really, it has damage potential. Holy shit, it has damage potential. But yeah, you can definitely do some other builds. Like I said, you can do like a melee build if you want to. You can do a thruster gauge build. You can definitely. I've noticed that my legs have come close. Rewatching these videos, my legs have come close to breaking a couple of times. So if you want to put some leg armor on, if you're worried about that, go ahead and do so. So yeah, there's a few ideas you can do, right? Overheat builds, ammo builds, right? So yeah, nice. Now we're on to the weapons here, and starting off with your primary weapons, you have the 93FF beam rifle, which is 750 damage, 11% heat rate, and 250 range. You can charge this, of course. Uncharged, it is a rapid fire beam rifle. It will take, I believe, all 6. It does a 6-round burst. I believe it takes all 6 to get a stun. It is very fast, so if you're really good at aiming, it should get you a stun pretty quickly. If not, you can easily, and I say easily use any of your other weapons to help with a stun accumulation. And I mean easily. It is very fast to stun. Definitely you can use your funnels to combo into this or whatnot, your vulcans even. Again, it nets you a pretty fast stun. It has really good damage build-up. Really fantastic weapon. If you do charge this, you will get penetration. It will do more damage, and I believe it will have more range as well. The only downside is uncharged is a 250 range, which, to be honest, playing Supply Depot in the later matches, it wasn't too big of an issue for me. But I know as probably I got really lucky there, where people just weren't sniping the entire time. So definitely you got to keep an eye out for the longer range maps if you're going to be using this weapon. But yeah, if you don't if you don't care, and if you did your gotcha weapon, you get your 7th step up, you can use the next weapon here. You can choose between this or the 93FF NH bazooka, which is 2,900 damage with 5 rounds and 300 range. And yeah, this is basically the new Gundam's bazooka, but it's better. You can boost while shooting this. Now, I believe this is the only suit at 700, not in the game, at 700 that can do this. Technically, the Sinanju can, but that is more so a skill that counters maneuver armor. This is actually, I believe, one of the only suits that can do this, where it can boost and shoot a instant stun. There might be a suit I'm forgetting about, but yeah, that is very, very, very valuable at this cost. Especially if you're trying to catch up to supports. You can definitely use this in situations where, this is not the only weapon you can boost and use, you can use your funnels along with your Vulcans to get a stun accumulation, and then you can combo into your bazooka to get a stun lock situation, and then go into your melee. So that is nasty, to say the least. So yeah, you don't have a bad choice of primary weapons here, to be honest. Now, for me, I personally picked the beam rifle more because honestly, the beam rifle just has more damage potential and more versatility. The bazooka will be easier to use, and I'm sure a lot of people find that the ability to boost and shoot an instant stun is really good, and it is. But yeah, the beam rifle to me, again, it's way more versatile in my opinion. Definitely a lot more. Again, definitely a lot more damage potential if you're getting your range combos in. So for me, that's the go-to. That's the go-to for me. Now, your primary melee weapon is the 93FF Beam Saber, which is 3,000 damage. I believe you share the same moveset as the Nu Gundam. And of course, since you do have a heavy attack, this is, and only one melee weapon, this is what the heavy attack is attached to. And we'll get more to that on the heavy attack when we get to the skills. But you only have 2 melee swings on this one melee weapon. Unlike a lot of other raids that have like maybe 3. No, this has 2. So you have to be careful if you're going to go for, if you're trying to do your typical melee stuns. Like, let's say, if you're picking something like the Banshee, or maybe the EZZ, where you're trying to stun juggle somebody. You have to be careful with this suit since you only have 2 melee swings. But really shouldn't be that much of an issue with stunning people, believe me. So yeah, it's a nice beam saber, right? Now we're on to the secondary weapons. You have the head-mounted Vulcan Mark II, which is 120 damage with 60 rounds and 200 range. I believe this takes 17 shots to stun, which I believe is actually the same as the GPO-1 and the GPO-2, back down in the few costs. And yeah, they're really, you have a lot of ammo. You do have a pretty decent fire rate, right? So and definitely you can combo this into your other stun accumulation weapons for a really fast stun. You can also use these Vulcans as well, just typical Vulcans where you can finish off low health enemies or even target pilots. So yeah, pretty nice Vulcan, high damage too. Next secondary weapon is the shield mounted beam cannon, which is 1,900 damage, with 85% heat rate and 350 range. And yeah, this is the same beam cannon essentially that is on the regular Nu Gundam. And yeah, it's your only instant stun if you're not running the bazooka. So if you want to use this for stun locks, that is possible. You can initiate with this, or again, you can go into stun locks, keep somebody in place. And pretty much that's how I'm just using it. Just extend combos, extend stun locks, all that jazz. Yeah, pretty basic, but it is pretty effective. And of course, you could definitely do something like use the beam rifle or the bazooka for initial stun. Go into stun lock with the beam cannon, go into melee. Just a basic combo like that, right? So yeah, works fine for me. Next secondary weapon is the L-fin. The L-fin, yeah, the supports are definitely gonna be taking a fat fucking L with this suit. Yeah, the L-fin funnels launch, which is 1,000 damage, 28% heat rate, and 300 range. This is your lock-on funnels. You can use this while boosting, like I'm pretty sure every other 4-star can, right? And yeah, it will fire 4 times before overheating, and it will stun in all 4 hits. It will take all 4 hits to stun. So you definitely want to use, again, your other stun accumulation weapons to get a very fast stun. Comboing this with the beam rifle is pretty damn effective. You can use your Vulcans if you want to boost and use both of these weapons at the same time. Pretty nice, and it does do some decent damage, especially against supports, where I believe you can do, each shot will do like over 1,000 damage, so that's potentially 4,000 damage, at least with the build I have, and I have a range build, right? So yeah, it's pretty nice. You definitely want to use it for setting up stun accumulations, at least from what I can tell using it. It's not just damage, right? It's also, I believe, the way it works. It kind of reminds me of the FF's zombies, where unlike most funnels, it feels like a lot of funnels have to surround somebody first and then fire. It feels like as soon as this gets near the vicinity of somebody, it'll start firing, which is pretty aggressive looking, and again, really helps out in just initiating some initial stun accumulation stuff, right? Next weapon here is the Fin Funnels Rapid, which is 1,800 damage per shot with 35% heat rate, 400 range, and you can charge this. This is basically just a weapon where the funnel gets attached to your arm. You will do a 2 bursts. Well, actually, no, you'll do a burst of 2 shots. They are very fast. They come out pretty fast. They do some pretty decent damage, each shot being 1,800 damage. So you get some pretty decent build up with that. It will take, I believe, both bursts, so you're firing 4 shots total. Not only will that overheat, but that's the only way you can get stunned with this weapon. But because it takes half stun accumulation just by using the burst fire on this initially, you can easily combo that with stuff like, again, your beam rifle, or your fin funnels. Normally you can fire into that, launch your actually no, it actually be a little bit more slower, so maybe your beam rifle afterwards, but still, it still has really good stun accumulation, I should say. And of course, since you could charge this, or you can charge this, the charge is actually really good. It is a heavy stagger, but not only is it a heavy stagger, it has a blast radius as well. It's a bit of a small blast radius, but still a blast radius nonetheless. You'll see that during, I believe, the second match that'll be showing up here. Maybe it's already in the second match, but against the unicorn, I believe. And yeah, again, that's very valuable to have a blast radius heavy stagger. However, when you do use the heavy stagger, you charge it up all the way. It will overheat, and it does take a little bit to charge up, but man, is it worth it. You can easily combo that, since, of course, it's a heavy stagger. They're forced to sit there and take whatever you want to do to them, whether that's a melee attack or just more range options from you. So that's, again, very, very nice. And that is, actually, no, you have one more weapon here, and that is the Shield Mounted Missile ×4, which is 700 damage per shot with 4 rounds and 300 range. You actually shoot 2 missiles at a time, and if you don't swap out between bursts, you will just use up all your ammo. But just like with the rapid fire funnels, it will overheat. It will stun accumulation somebody. It will stun somebody accumulation wise, if all 4 hit. These are really good for damage buildup, and of course, again, stun accumulation. Really easy to combo into this. Fantastic. Again, this suit has really great stun accumulation. And finally, you do have a shield, the 93FF shield, which is 6,000 health and is considered a large size shield. You do have shield stance mastery, so whenever it does blow up in your face, because 6,000 health is not going to be a lot at this cost, you won't get stunned, thankfully. And hey, speaking of that, we are going to go into the skills now. You have Assault Booster level 3, Radar level 2, Balancers, Melee Combo Controller, but only 1, so you get 2 melee swings, not 3, remember that. You have Ambac level 2, you have Maneuver Armor level 3, that is 15% less damage taken whenever you're boosting, and you will absorb instant stuns, so you can use that to get away or to approach somebody to absorb stuns. You have Force Injectors level 3, so you can boost back and forth with less thruster gauge consumption given to you. You have Shield Break Mastery, as we mentioned before. Whenever your shield does inevitably break, it will not stun you, which is quite nice. You do have, of course, a heavy attack, and the heavy attack, it doesn't take too long to fire to charge up, and however, it's not too high damaging unless you get both parts in. It is a 2-part attack. You do a lunge forward with a beam slash, and then you do a really sick looking kick. It's actually one of the better looking heavy attacks in my opinion. Really, really fucking cool looking. And of course, you can use it for situations like somebody's approaching you around the corner. You can use that to surprise them. If they don't know any better, right? And just chasing somebody down. You can use it for, I believe, for movement as well, since you are moving faster using the heavy attack than you are boosting. So you can use that. I've seen people use that for movement. Crazy, funnily enough, right? So yeah, it does have a few versatility or a few versatile things you can do with it. So that's pretty nice. Again, it's not like the most damaging heavy attack, but that's not going to matter to support because they're still going to take 10k. But against generals, it's not the most high damaging. It's not like the EZZ where you nearly one shot a general. But it's still pretty useful heavy attack. Next skill is the you have evasion level 3, so you do get a double dodge roll, but you do get less thruster consumption off of that initial first dodge roll. So that can be useful in situations like, let's say you're in space, you do one dodge roll, and hey, you have enough to kind of boost up, boost down, you do a little bit of some force injector action, right? So make use of your maneuver armor a little bit more. So definitely pretty nice to have a evasion level 3 there. And of course, you can just use it for typical stuff like getting a double dodge roll, right? You have blast stabilizer, so mobile suit explosions will not heavy stagger you, which is quite nice. You have flight control level 2, so you can boost and jump while you're in the air. You have Psychomu weapon buffer level 4, which is of course where your Psychomu weapon is. You will take 35% less damage if you get hit there. Now, of course, that requires somebody to hit you from behind, right? But still, that's pretty good damage reduction there if you do get hit there. You also have Psycho Frame Resonance, where it activates at 30% health, and it also boosts your mobility and it shortens your lock-on times by 50%. So that makes your funnels even better for locking on to people. You can boost towards somebody and use that, and it also does the typical thing like all the other Psycho Frames, where and biosensors really, where if somebody is if somebody hits you at just the right time, you can absorb that stun. I think even like a heavy stagger, and you can just continue working like nothing else. I believe it caught me off guard in the Arctic base match, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't get down swung, so I'm just gonna shoot the person now. So yeah, there's definitely some moments where you can, if you time it right, if you notice you're at a certain percent of health, you can definitely dive in and absorb a stun that way. The next skill you have here is the counter program, which, yeah, if you have 50% or less health, you actually get a special counter attack. The counter attack, like Char's counter attack. Oh my god, no! But you'll do more damage, but it does require your funnel. If you don't have your funnels, or if you sent your funnels out on somebody while you're countering somebody else, you will just do a regular counter instead. And finally, you have a new skill, which is called Counter Boost. And what this does is if you counter somebody, you will get a huge boost. You'll get a boost to your stats, your attack, your defense, and your speed. It says temporarily, but more like it's 30 seconds. I believe 20 to 30 seconds. So you get 20 to 30 seconds of increased attack and defense and speed. But not only that, the focus time needed for range weapons and melee weapons is reduced. So now your heavy attack is faster to come out, your beam rifle is faster to charge, your heavy stagger is faster to charge as well. This is really, really insane. Really insane if you're one of those people that gets lucky and gets counters. Unfortunately, I don't get too many. Actually, I don't even think I get a single counter in these matches. So you don't get to see the showcase for it too often. But if you do check the initial my testing out video for this suit, and then of course you can test out. You can see other people playing this. They'll probably get the counter off, and yeah, that is again, more attack, more defense, more speed, and less charge time on heavy attacks, and your range weapons that can charge, that can focus. And I believe you can literally counter somebody and then just do a heavy attack. You can charge up that fast and just combo into your heavy attack. So yeah, very, very good skill. I feel like we might see this on more suits later on, but Yeah, that for 30 seconds too. I feel like that maybe have to get, depending on how often people are gonna get are gonna be getting that counter. They might have to reduce that, to be honest. But yeah, that'll wrap it up for the FF Nu Gundam. And we're going to go into the pros and cons. Starting off with the cons, you don't really have too many, to be honest, at least from me playing it, from what I've experienced. You do have lower than typical raid health. You have 22,000 health, so technically you are squishier in that aspect. You will have to be careful around, obviously it's 700, so you can die really fast, so you can end up being pretty squishy. Your legs, you don't have high leg buffers, so if you're not watching out, you can break your legs. Now, I didn't get to break mine, but I know if people really focus in on that, they probably will break it eventually. I say there might have been one or two moments where my legs broke, but I think it might have been whenever I'm getting jumped by 3 or more people, so it didn't matter in that regard, right? Any other cons I can think of? Not really, not necessarily. I guess, for melee combo controller level 2, you don't have, or level 1, my bad, you don't have 3 melee swings, you only have 2, so that can interrupt you doing, like, your melee stun locks, right? So, there's that as a downside. You are a bigger suit and a raid, so, I mean, a lot of suits are going to be generals at 700, or a lot of suits in general are just going to be generals. And since you are a little bit of a bigger suit, I say bigger suit, you're not like chunky big, right? You are taller, can make you easier to hit. So just be wary of that. And that's really all I gotta say for the downsides on this. For the pros, though, the upsides, you got really amazing weapons here. The stun accumulation weapons are really great. A lot of versatility in your weapons. Like with the beam rifle, you got your rapid fire stun accumulation. You can charge it for a penetration, high damaging stun. You do have a instant stun with the beam cannon. You do have the launch fin funnels to combo into either your Vulcans or your beam rifle for really fast stun accumulation. The rapid fire funnel that's on your arm, you can use that, not only also that for stun accumulation, but also fully charge it for a heavy stagger that has a blast radius. And then finally, you do have the shield mounted missiles for added stun accumulation. This suit's really good at dishing that out. Really good, really nice combination of weapons. Works really fantastic. You have really good skills. You do, of course, you have like high level maneuver armor. You take 50% less damage. You do have force injectors level 3, and you do have a double dodge roll, and you have evasion level 3, so you have more thruster gauge, more thruster gauge to work with after doing that initial dodge roll, right? Shield break mastery, you got of course the heavy attack, the blast stabilizer, and that new skill counter boost. If you're a person that's getting a counter, like I said before, if you're getting counters, that will really increase your output to insane degrees. I can't wait for the day I'll finally get a counter whenever somebody does their heavy attack, instead of me just bouncing off of them and doing only like 900 damage for a tackle. But one of these days I'll get that on camera, right? Yeah, that's gonna be the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe if you want, I'd really appreciate it. And type up in the comment section how you feel about the FF Nu Gundam. Do you like it? Do you hate it? And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is actually a really, really good suit. I really enjoy playing this. I find the suit pretty fun and really good. Now, is it on the same par as the Sinanju Stein? It's close. It's close. It's really close. But I think the Sinanju Stein does have a few things going for it compared to this suit, where I believe it does become a lot more tankier when it reaches 50% health, because I believe it takes less melee damage, which is, for a game that's like kind of revolved around stun melee, that's really valuable. You do have that get out of jail free card, heavy stagger with the boosters, right? Now, compared to the Nu Gundam here, that is like a once per life thing. But with the Nu Gundam, you can use that. You have to wait for the overheat and you can use it again, right? But it's not like in the insane ways you can use it with the Sinanju Stein, right? And of course, Sinanju Stein, I think, yeah, it does have more range on its beam rifle as well for poking, and just it has better stun accumulation where it takes 2 shots to stun. You know, a lot easier to aim from me playing it. But yeah, this suit's it's not bad at all. It's really not. Again, to me, it's very close to Sinanju Stein. And honestly, looking at me using this suit and doing as well as I am for somebody that always says that they can't play raids, I know there's people out there, they're going to take one look at this and just go, whew, I'm going to do a lot with this. You know, they're going to be salivating at the mouth trying to play this suit and just figure out all the kind of like combinations they can do. This, again, the really good stun accumulations, the damage output, it's going to be fantastic for them. It's gonna be gross dealing with this and the Stein at 700. So I'm gonna feel, again, pour one out for the support players out there, all the poor FF zombies that they had their fun, right? But now here comes the suit to remind them that the devs do not like them. So, and do I recommend this suit? Oh yeah, I recommend this if you're looking for a 700 raid. If you don't have the Nu Gundam, you don't have the Stein, yeah, you can definitely roll for this. It's pretty good. I like it. Now, of course, if you care about stuff like anniversary, I would probably save your tokens just to see what insane bullshit's going to be coming out during anniversary. But yeah, the Nu Gundam here, definitely one of the better raids that I've played. At least it plays more to how I want to play compared to the Stein, because I think I mentioned before, the reason I don't play the Stein is because it doesn't really, like, I don't mesh well with it. This suit, I really do mesh with it. I might even play a little bit more, right? Me playing raids? Holy shit, what the fuck? But yeah, that'll be it, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.